Welcome, friends. I'm Jim Hughes and bringing you this edition of Oxford News this week. In our headlines, a very celebratory weekend in Oxford Township, new back-to-school and safety programs to help kids, and an increase in pedestrian vehicle crashes in Oakland County. Sit back, stay tuned. You're watching Oxford News this week. Tributes and celebration were a recent focus this as the Oxford community celebrated local first responders, dedicated a new pocket park to one of Oxford's former residents, Helen Smith. On the night of Friday, August 11th, Oxford Township invited the community to Seymour Lake Park to celebrate the work and dedication of the Oakland County Sheriff's Office and the Oxford Fire Department. Some of the events included performance of the Oxford High School Marching Band, an array of sheriff and fire vehicles, and for the grand finale, a spectacular fireworks display. OCTV's Allison Miller talked with Oxford Fire Chief Matt Majestic about the event and the long-awaited return of the fireworks at Seymour Lake Park.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you're out here tonight?
We're out here tonight because I was the bad guy, right? Everybody knows. I had to cancel the fireworks around the Seymour celebration because of the drought type conditions we had at the time, and it was a painful decision, and it was not done lightly, and then we had to come up with a way to move forward, right? The money was already committed from the parks, and we had the folks lined up, so I believe it was the Parks and Rec director came up with an idea of, let's do something to kind of recognize the first responders in our community, which obviously myself and Lieutenant Patterson, we didn't really want to take that spotlight because that's not what we're about. So we kind of reluctantly agreed. But for me, and I posted on our Facebook page, we're out here for the folks who have supported us. That's more important to me. And so we're just happy that it seems like the Mother Nature's going to cooperate with us now, and we should be good to go if all goes well. And but that's why we're here to recognize the community and the support that they give us more than anything.
Good stuff there. Thanks, Allison. The next morning, the Oxford community helped dedicate a new pocket park for all ages. The play equipment and bicycle repair station that the park hosts are located adjacent to the grounds of the Oxford Township Hall, a 2,400 square foot park that has been a labor of love, not only for the township, but especially for CJ Carnacchio. Oxford Township Communications and Grant Coordinator, OCTV's Pauline Bennett, talked to Mr. Carnacchio about the park and fond memories of its namesake, Helen Smith.
And here we are with CJ. It was your idea to create this park, right?
Yes.
And really, this is a community park because so many people helped you out. How on earth did you get that involvement?
I just basically went to all the people. I started with the businesses and people who knew Helen and just kind of fanned out from there. I mean, a lot of these people who donated, they knew who Helen, and they were happy to step up. And a lot of them donated because they knew the park project was good for Oxford. So we have 29 donors listed on the sign here, and they all donated either cash or in-kind contributions, labor, that kind of thing. And then the Fort County Community Foundation, I can't thank them enough. They've always been a good partner. This is the fourth grant I've secured for them since 2019, and everyone just steps up and does their part. That's why I wanted to list them all on the sign, because that sign, that's a community of Oxford right there.
This has to be one of your most special endeavors as far as grant writing because it is a community park. Would you have to agree to that?
Oh yeah, I mean this wasn't just all the projects I'm passionate about. I'm invested in everything I do, but this park had personal significance for me. So I mean, spent a lot of time on this, a lot of nights and days, a lot of worry, a lot of thinking, and I'm just so happy to see it come to fruition to benefit this community and to honor Helen's memory.
I understand that you also designed the park. Could you tell, for those who couldn't be here today, tell us the different aspects of the park?
Well, we have 3 pieces of play equipment for children. We have a swing, a climber, and a cute little drum set. And we have 2 pieces of exercise equipment for adults, a hand cycle and a lat pull down. And what those do is they work the upper body strength, because I figure people are walking and biking along the path here. They're giving their legs a good workout, so now I wanted some equipment to give their arms and shoulders a good workout. We have a table for seating. We have a bench that is dedicated to Bill Dunn, the township supervisor from 1999 to 2020, and a trash can, and a bicycle repair station that includes many tools, a rack to hang the bike on while you work on it, and an air pump.
Very nice, and that's a lot for a pocket park. So you really did do some work as far as planning this out.
Well, I wanted a little something for everybody. This is a place for kids. It's a place for adults. It's a place for seniors, and it's just a little bit of everything. Because Helen was all about helping the community, so I wanted whatever was to this park honoring her memory. I wanted it to help the entire community.
So a lot of times people say, in one word, what would you, let's say, label Helen, which is probably impossible to do in one word. So in one sentence, what would you say about Helen for everybody?
I think I've said it before many times. Helen was Oxford. That sums it up. Helen was Oxford.
That's perfect. Thank you, Chris, for all that you've done for this park and for Helen and her family. Thank you.
Good stuff there. Oxford Addison Youth Assistance is partnering with the Oxford Open-Handed Closed Pantry to host a back-to-school sock and underwear drive to aid children in the community. OAYA is a volunteer organization providing prevention and intervention services to youth. And Oxford Open-Handed is a registered nonprofit whose goal is to provide free clothing assistance to children and families in need. The organizations are collecting new unopened packs of kids' socks and underwear through August 28th. Oxford Open-Handed said they are thrilled to be able to ensure that every local child has a basic necessities they need to start the school year off right. There are 3 ways to contribute to the drive. Those interested can pick up off packages in person at designated collection sites, or socks and underwear can be ordered or paid for online through Amazon's wish list or PayPal donations. To find out more information about how the drive works, you can contribute. Visit the Oxford Open-Handed Facebook page, where viewers can access links to donations websites. The Oxford Village Police Department has partnered with the National Child Safety Council to bring a new mascot named Safety Pup to children. The Safety Pup mascot was adopted last month to assist in promoting child safety education in the Oxford community. Safety Pup traveled to downtown Oxford during the Concert in the Park series hosted on Thursday, August 10th. The canine companion visited children, handing out treats and goodies, and made it a mission to put smiles on the faces not only on the kids, but also members of the Downtown Development Authority and the Oxford Police Department itself. According to the official Safety Pup website, the mascot serves to further public information, education, and awareness in child safety, law enforcement, and accident prevention. To learn more about the National Child Safety Council and its programs, you can visit their website. It's National Child Safety Council. I think it's .org. The Oxford Village Fire Department has recently purchased 2 new sets of equipment that have the possibility of saving a life. A portable oxygen ventilators and CPAP functions to support those with difficulty in breathing following an emergency. The new AED trainers and the CPR and choking mannequins are among some of the recent improvements to the technology available at the fire department. OXFD medics, Oxford Fire Department medics, and EMTs complete an in-service of the new ventilators during the week. It took place on August 10th. While the new mannequins were actually assembled on the 15th. According to the fire department on their Facebook page, the new Z-Vent ventilator is an easy-to-use portable and durable unit. It is designed to be lightweight, energy efficient, making it ideal on various types of emergency transport. The ventilator supports infants through adults, and its casing is built by military standards to help withstand any of the elements out there EMS personnel could face while doing their job. The new CPR mannequins will be of use for future American Heart Association family and friends. CPR classes, again, are offered soon and will be offered free of charge to the Oxford public. This is a technology and is only a small part of several department improvements that have occurred over the summer thanks to the increased grants and donations and funding that are being made available. Since the law against using a cell phone or handheld device while driving in Michigan has gone into place, Oakland County Sheriff deputies have issued 164 tickets for illegal use. According to a recent data, only 7 drivers have recently received distracted driving tickets for reasons other than handheld devices. Since the law took effect in June 30th to be exact, using a cell phone while driving carries a $100 fine or 16 hours of community service for the first offense. According to the county crash investigators, if both pedestrians and drivers are to take greater care to follow the rules of the road and stay aware of what's going on around them, there would certainly be fewer crashes. There is even evidence of an increased number of pedestrian crashes this year, despite the new law. For the 2/3 of 2013 that have already passed, Oakland County Sheriff's deputies have responded to 21 crashes and pedestrians, 6 of which were hit and runs, in contrast to the 2022 result of 13 vehicle pedestrian crashes that were reported, meaning that the rate has nearly doubled. Police say it's a rise in crashes that started early in September. With schools returning to session and the weather remaining warm, drivers are still reminded and can remember to follow the law and make sure the end of summer, the season, will stay safe for you and the pedestrians. A 57-year-old man passed away on the evening of Saturday, August 12th, after he was struck by a boat while swimming in the lower straits of a lake in the Commerce Township. According to the Oakland County Sheriff's officials, Novi resident Alexander Zorin was attempting to swim around 5 p.m. when he was struck by a 22-foot pontoon boat. The Sheriff's Department rescue team responded to the call near the shoreline at 8700 block of Oak Beach Drive, where Zorin was found with multiple lacerations. He was then transported to the hospital. He died several hours later. Investigators stated that Zorin was not wearing a life jacket and was struck about 50 to 75 yards from shore. Officials did not believe alcohol was a factor in the collision. The incident is still under investigation. An autopsy again has been scheduled by the Oakland County Medical Examiner's Office. The downtown Oxford business Evergreen's Coffee and Bake Shop was recently featured in America's Best Restaurants. With over 900 filmed episodes, the national media and marketing company is focusing on highlighting local and independently owned restaurants by traveling. The roadshow features 4 hosts and 2 cross-country vans that showcase small businesses, restaurants, and short segments on social media platforms. The show began on July of 2021. It serves as a marketing agency for restaurant owners to have their stories heard. Evergreen's Coffee and Bake Shop episode aired on August 16th. To view more episodes or learn more about the Evergreen drink and snack offerings, you can visit their webpage at Evergreen's Coffee and Bake Shop. Congratulations to all those involved in making that national publicly and a possibility. And our Behind the Lens segment, and we are definitely inviting you to, it will quack me up actually. These groups of ducks are enjoying a stellar start to the day. The beautiful lake in Waterford reflects all the hues of the sky. If you want your camera skills to be featured here on Oxford News this week, share them with us by email, manager@occtv.org. And you can send a short description of where you took the photo and where it was taken and why, for an opportunity to have the snapshots viewed right here in our Behind the Lens segment. In our last story today, Oxford Scouts out and about. Up and coming, he's in for our own Dave Kenny, Joe Calhoun. He's going to handle the duties of Auto Talk and Science in the News. You are watching Oxford News This Week right here on Oxford Community Television.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Joseph Calhoun, filling in for Dave Kinney, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. Ford makes Blue Crew Standard available via subscription. Ford Motor Company is installing its hands-free highway driving hardware as standard equipment on many Ford and Lincoln brand models, part of a larger industry push towards greater subscription revenue. Ford customers will be able to activate the Blue Cruise at the time of vehicle purchase for 3 years at $2,100 or after a 90-day free trial for $800 annually or $75 a month. On select Lincoln trimmed levels, 4 years of Blue Cruise will be included in the purchase price, and customers can subscribe after that. Ford believes that investing to include that hardware standard from the factory and giving customers the flexibility to choose when and how they activate is the right approach, said Ashley Lambrix, head of commercial acceleration for Model E at Ford. The company projects the change will bring Blue Cruise hardware to 500,000 Ford and Lincoln vehicles over the 2024 model year in North America. As cars become increasingly software-defined and automakers come under pressure to produce profits, despite heavy driver assist and electronic vehicle technology investments, subscriptions seem not so bright on the future, but automakers must contend with weary customers shelling out monthly and yearly fees for everything from laundry detergent to Netflix. On a call with reporters on August 14th, Peter Stern, Ford's new president of Integrated Services, said he was not concerned about the customer backlash for bringing charges for software features. I firmly believe that when services deliver value to the customer, it is appropriate for customers to pay for those services, and then that allows us, in turn, to take that money and invest in delivering even better services, he said. He continued to say, of course, we're committed to delivering a great experience for every customer, whether they pay for a subscription service or not. But we can do better for them when we have a subscription and when we have a service that's paid for. Indeed, features such as Blue Cruise are practically conducive to subscription charges because they are novel and automakers can continually improve driver assist technology as more vehicles collect data over the years, said Alex Olier, director of SBD Automotive North America. Standardizing the hardware across vehicle lineups is also a cost reduction measure, he continued to say. It is differentiating, and it's not something that is necessarily expected as part of the car. There are ongoing costs to operate that from an OEM perspective, so there's a rationale for being charged for that capacity. Ford has reduced the number of months between releasing new versions of Blue Cruise, said Lambrix, with the latest update coming 8 months after the previous one. Already, 225,000 vehicles on the road are equipped with Blue Cruise around the world. We are increasing the speed at which we are improving the product and plan to continue to invest in bringing the best technology to our customers, Lambrix said. Blue Cruise hardware will now be standard in the Mustang Mach-E, Lincoln Navigator, Lincoln Nautilus, and certain Lincoln Concierges, along with the F-150 Lightning, Ford F-150s, and Ford Expeditions. SBD Automotive predicts that more than 50% of new car sales will include Blue Cruise-like Level 2 hands-free systems by 2026. Well, that's this edition for Auto Talk. I'm Joseph Calhoun, filling in for Dave Kinney. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Canine Stray Rescue is Oxford's own local dog rescue. Call them at 248-628-0435 or go to their website dogsaver.org and click on the Canine Stray Rescue League link.
Welcome back to Oxford News This Week. We are so getting ready for fall sports, but I tell you, we are happy about this one. The Oxford senior softball team has won their 12th championship, since 2006. This year, the team was composed of manager Dwayne Marchio, assistant manager Rich Kadich, 15 other players, and the team finished their 2023 season 22 wins and 2 losses. They earned both of the division and playoff championships this year. The team was sponsored by Oxford Health Quest and 24th Street Tavern. Again, we have the opportunity to film them the last few years. It's been fun stuff. Congratulations to the Senior Softball League enjoying their victory this past week. The Michigan State University Board of Trustees cast a unanimous 8-0 vote to authorize administration to manage and plan and approve alcohol sales at the Spartan Stadium. The trustees said that the key reason for the plan approval was their interest in ensuing Big Ten fans could find a full range of amenities available to them when they travel to Spartan country. And now the started liquor license application process will begin. Liquor Control Commission could lead a sales of Spartan Stadium by as early as September 16th, when the third home game of the year takes place against Washington. Trustee Dennis Den said the first two home games were passed over due to logistical challenges around the staffing and preparation. Senior Vice President for Student and Engagement, Benny Gore, said alcohol sales could bring in about $250,000 in gross income for each home match. 60 to 80 new employees will be hired to handle these duties. The MSU police presence will increase in the stadium as needed. MSU Athletic Director Alan Haller said the decision will keep the university at the same pace as other Big Ten schools. After MSU will likely approve only 4 others not to sell alcohol at their third venues, including the University of Michigan football, considering the same possibility. Coming up in our last story, we're going to say something about Scouts. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. I do believe Joe Calhoun will have one more segment in for Dave Kenny. You're watching Oxford News This Week. I'll be back to close it out at the end of this broadcast.
Do you love local sports? Whether it's Oxford High School or Parks and Rec, you can buy copies of each game. To purchase your copy, call us at 248-628-9658 or give us an email at manager@occtv.org or talk to us at the next game. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Joseph Calhoun filling in for Dave Kinney, and these stories are taken from New Scientist. The number of recorded coronavirus cases are on the rise around the world, including countries such as the United Kingdom, the U.S., and China. Last week, the World Health Organization named the Omicron subvariant called EG5 or Urius as a variant of interest, directing governments to keep a close eye on it. Here's what we know so far. EG5 is a descendant of the SARS coronavirus 2 Omicron variant, which was first recorded in November 2021. It is closely related to the XBB 1.9.2, another Omicron subvariant, but has an extra spike protein mutation. The subvariant has an offshoot dubbed EG5.1, which also contains additional spike protein mutation. EG5 was first reported to the WHO on February 17th and was placed under monitoring until July 19th. On August 9th, after growing recorded E5 case numbers, the organization designated it along with EG5.1 as a variant of interest, advising health authorities to carefully monitor its transmission. Globally, reports of the EG5 have been surging in the week ending July 23, 2023. 17.4% of all sequenced SARS-CoV-2 cases were prevented or identified as EG5 compared with just 7.6% the previous month. As of August 7th, EG5 cases have been reported to the Global Initiative on Sharing All Influenza Data by 51 countries, including China, the US, Australia, and Japan. EG5 is gradually taking over as the dominant variant in many countries, says Brian Willett at the University of Glasgow, United Kingdom, replacing its closely related subvariant XBB 1.16 in the US. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that EG5 is responsible for about 17% of its SARS-CoV-2 cases, making it the fastest growing and most common version of SARS-CoV-2 in the country. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom Health Security Agency estimates that around 14% of SARS-CoV-2 cases in England are EG5. The WHO has evaluated the health risk posed by the EG5 as being low and similar to that of other Omicron subvariants. We don't detect a change in severity compared to other Omicron subvariants, Maria Van Kolhove at the WHO said in a press briefing on August 9th. EG5 extra spike protein mutation gives it a transmission advantage over previously dominant variants, says Willett. The same mutation also affects how antibodies neutralize a virus, which may enable it to evade immunity brought about by a prior SARS-CoV-2 infection or vaccination, he says. Like with other SARS-CoV-2 variants, EG5 most commonly causes fever, cough, fatigue, and lots of taste and smell. It can also cause a sore throat, headache, aches and pain, diarrhea, rashes, and eye irritation. EG5 symptoms last no longer than any other SARS-CoV-2 variant or subvariant, generally resolving within 1 or 2 weeks in mild cases. For those who are at particular amount of risk of COVID-19, such as older people and those with compromised immune systems, it is important to keep up with vaccine doses. Levels of immunity are waning as now some time since most people were vaccinated or boosted, says Willett. To avoid infection, the general advice of regular hand washing still applies, he says. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Joseph Calhoun, filling in for Dave Kinney. Keep tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Hey, this is former Detroit Lion Rob Rubick and former Lapeer, Michigan school teacher. You're currently watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television. Enjoy it.
Back with you on Oxford News this week, and in our last story covering the group of Oxford Scouts out and about, 7 members of the Oxford Boy Scout Troop 366, who always do great things, traveled to New Mexico last month to visit the world's largest outdoor youth camp. Philmont Scout Ranch is one of 4 Boy Scouts of America camps operated by the National High Adventure Bases. Scouts attend these adventure bases to gain skills in leadership, teamwork, and self-reliance. Increasing their time spent outdoors and within volunteerism situations, the Oxford Scouts spent 7 days in the New Mexico wilderness, trekking from base camp, and they're acclimated to the altitude and received gear to summit Mount Phillips. Over the duration of the trip, the Scouts spent time with the Philmont Ranger to learn several safety and life skills tips. They even witnessed several reenactments of the Philmont famed Santa Fe Trail Pass. After several days on the off the map and the compass navigation, the Scouts were able to make it up approximately 4,000 feet to what the adult supervisor, Matt King, said was a stunning view. Good stuff in our last story. As always, we'd like to thank our news gathering source this week. We gathered from the Oxford Open-Handed, Oxford Addison Youth Assistance, Oxford DDA, Oxford Police, Oxford Fire Department, Charter Township of Oxford, and the Evergreens Coffee and Bake Shop Facebook pages, and the websites at the Oxford Leader, SafetyPub.org, the Oakland Press, and Click on Detroit. America's Best Restaurants, DC, and the Detroit Free Press. Special thanks going out to Dwayne Martrio this week. Photo credits go out to CJ Carnacchio, Don Rush of the Oxford Leader, Dwayne Marchio of the Oxford Senior Softball, the Oxford DDA, the Oxford Police, and the Oxford Fire Department, and the Oakland Press, also Evergreens Coffee and Bake Shop, and Nick King from Lansing State Journal. OCTV can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99 on the ATT Uverse. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and Roku, the app, as well as if you have a show idea, you can or want to volunteer, contact our office at OCCTV. Give our office a call at 248-628-9658. A very special thank you to the producer and director, Kyle Snage, videographer, Al Campbell, our news writer, fabulous news writer, I'm going to say, Allison Miller, our editor, Marissa Rushka, our programmer, Connie Miller, program coordinator, Dan Zweiss, station manager, Terry Stiles. Yes, it takes all these people. We put this on every week. For everyone here at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week, and I invite you back next time when, again, we will take a look at Oxford News this week.